Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dentik Karyaningsih. I will present the article on the first Paris Pan-Java International Seminar. Introductions of traditional Lebak musical instruments through Android application for early childhood. Eka Setiawati, Dentik Karyaningsih, Suci Aprilyati Ruiyat, Hadi Sutiawan, Iman Sampurna, Eneng Susilawati, STKIP Setiabudhi Banten, Indonesia, Informatics Department, Universitas Serang Raya, Serang, Indonesia. Introduction. Smartphone has a positive impact for a child's mindset that is helping children regulate their play speed, process strategies in games, and helping to improve the ability of a child's right brain. In this case, the teacher has an important role how to utilize this Android for learning activities in order to support brain absorption children in the more useful science. Lebak Regency is part of Banten province, which is dominant culture style, the Sunda Lebak culture. Lebak Regency with Sunda culture Lebak has a different cultural diversity. It can be seen from the two indigenous groups in Lebak Regency. The two community groups in questions are the Baduy indigenous peoples and the Banten Kidul Kasepuhan indigenous peoples. Baduy has traditional music instruments. For now, there are still many children who do not know and understand about traditional musical instruments, especially Baduy, namely dok-dok lojor, lisung angklung buhun. There are many children who do not know how to use these tools which are always used during traditional ceremonies. This can be developed from learning through animation media introduction to traditional music tools Baduy, Lebak district based on Android application. Research method. The form of research used in this study is the form of classroom action research. Classroom action research functions to improve the quality of classroom learning implementation. The reason researchers use classroom action research forms is to introduce traditional musical instruments through Android. The location of this research is in Setiabudhi Kindergarten. Subjects or primary data source in this study were children aged 5 to 6 years in the early childhood education programs or PAUD Setiabudhi Rangkas Bitung, totaling 20 children. The data source in this study also involved the lectures of the study program of PG PAUD STKIP Setiabudhi Rangkas Bitung. The implementations of this research used two cycles. Analysis of the data used is the data sheet assessment or observation using simple statistic that is the percentage of the three categories, namely start developing, developing as expected, and developing very well. The indicator observed in the operation is the child's ability to mention the types of traditional musical instruments, distinguishing the types of traditional musical instruments. Results and discussion. The results of this study are divided into several stages, namely the divining stage. This stage consists of several parts, namely determining objectives. The purpose of designing Android-based traditional music instrument application in Android-based learning in early childhood education program or PAUD is to increase children's interest in introducing traditional music instrument in Baduy and to foster a love of local traditional culture. Another stage is determining the material. The material contained in the applications of Android-based traditional Baduy music instrument is the form and name of the music instrument, the sounds of each music instrument, how to use the musical instrument, the use of the musical instrument at the traditional Baduy area ceremony. The results of the research is both cycles are to find out how far the development of children in getting to know traditional musical instruments, the ability of children to recognize traditional musical instruments is displayed in graphical form below. Graph increase children's ability to recognize traditional music instruments. From the graph above, it can be seen the ability of children in the first cycle, where the category began to develop by 24%, for the category of developing as expected, or BSH, in the first cycle by 44%, and 24% in the second cycle. For the very well-developed category, or BSB, in the first cycle was 30%, and the second cycle was 76%. From the results of this class-action research, it can be seen that the introductions of traditional musical instruments through the Android application in children aged 5 to 6 years at Setiabudhi kindergarten has experienced a significant increase. In this case, the teacher's role is very influential on this success. Conclusion. From the results of research in kindergarten Setiabudhi, the use of Android is quite efficient in introducing traditional music instruments. The ability of children in the first cycle for the category began to develop by 24% for the category of developing as expected, or BSH, in the first cycle by 44% and 24% in the second cycle. For the very well developed category, or BSB, in the first cycle was 30% and the second cycle was 76%. Therefore, the results of these research applications can be used by the teachers of children aged 5 to 6 years in introducing traditional Lebak music instrument, so that the local culture will remain preserved. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you very much. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.